Hello and welcome to this training. Thank you for being here. The aim of these video trainings are to help employees and pilots in training in an aviation program to learn more about medical hesitancy in the paid pilot population that exists. You will also learn about ways to become more proactive with your health with lifestyle medicine and other tools. I hope to gain feedback from you on how to improve these educational materials. By way of introduction, I will tell you who I am and why I'm here. I am Marie Clayton. I've been a nurse for 20 years. I am a DNP FNP student at Weber State University and will graduate at the end of 2024. You likely know what an FNP is, a family nurse practitioner. The DNP stands for a Doctorate of Nursing Practice. It involves a lot with leadership training and is a degree that was created for learning competencies to address complex problems like you would find in healthcare or in specific populations for working to apply best evidence to its intended populations. Translating new evidence or best practices can take 13 to 17 years without intentional leadership like the DNP degree is teaching me. I've identified a need with you as employees in an aviation program needing more training and tools to support your physical and mental health as you have influence on pilots in training who likely have medical hesitancy. So why am I here? You could say I have second-hand experience with the pilot population. My husband is an airline pilot. He graduated from Utah State University and was a certified flight instructor at the Heber Valley Airport and at Salt Lake International Airport. He flew for SkyWest for 8 years, and now it's been closer to 9 years with Delta, and he's been a captain for 2 years. I have long identified the need pilots have for more support with their physical and mental health. It is a complex problem as pilots have so much responsibility to ensure safety, and to keep your medical means you can keep working. I'm hoping you can learn from these videos to help you know there are habits you can create or strengthen to support your mental and physical health now and in your entire career and beyond. The goals of this project is that we want you to view these voluntarily and for you to voluntarily give us some feedback so that we can optimize these educational materials for them to become sustainable so that this education can become required training for pilots in training as well as in orientation for new employees. The eventual desired outcome is for you to learn more about proactive health concepts and see if you change your attitude about making changes in applying proactive health concepts and the other tools that I will introduce you to in ways to protect your health. I want to make it clear that no identifiable data will be gathered from you. My goal is to teach and help support you. The schedules that pilots must adjust to, such as changing time zones, long shifts, and working rotating hours, take a toll on their physical, mental, and psychosocial health. Half of the participants of an anonymous online research study admitted to at least one healthcare avoidance behavior, and 78.6% disclosed being worried about seeking health care. Support for your population may be provided through proactive health promotion to prevent illness and early detection of health concerns during working and non-working hours. Helping you to understand this problem and possible solutions will help you to ensure better safety for the pilots and training you encounter working with in this program. Some remarks of the former administrator at the FAA, Stephen M. Dixon, as he was speaking to the University of North Dakota at their Mental Health Summit a few years ago in 2020. He said, "One of the things I love so much about this industry is the passion that all of us have for aviation. I see it in my FAA workforce. I see it when I visit the industry. That passion also means that all of us are hesitant to take any risks, real or perceived, when it comes to the regulations that could threaten our ability to fly or otherwise participate. For many years, being honest about mental health has been one of those risky areas. I'm here to tell you that it's a perceived risk, though, and we're doing our best at the FAA to make that clear. So let's start with this. It is a misconception that if you report a mental health issue, you will never fly again. It's just not true." In fact, only about 0.1% of applicants for a medical certificate who disclose health issues are ultimately denied a medical certificate, and then only after an exhaustive attempt to get to yes. The important thing to stress to our pilots is to please ask for help when any symptoms begin and to treat the underlying conditions before your health degrades. The worse these conditions become, the harder it is for us to get you back in the air. This statement makes it clear that reporting symptoms, getting help, and protecting your health are what the FAA expects, because you wouldn't want your condition to get worse as it becomes harder, not impossible, but harder to get rehabilitated. The primary purpose of this project is to gain feedback from the employees and pilots in training of your aviation program on educational materials about existing mental health support, such as the Crisis Center and calling 988, and other information and concepts such as lifestyle medicine that includes nutrition, restorative sleep, exercise, relationships, stress management, and risk for substance abuse. I will introduce you to something called mental health vital signs. Vital signs are things like your heart rate and blood pressure that help us to determine your physical health status. So for mental health vital signs, they are reliable tools that healthcare professionals use to screen for depression and anxiety. They are questionnaires, and they will be for your own personal use. I will not know your results if you screen yourself. We will also talk about a crisis response plan that helps you objectively recognize and be proactive regarding your mental health. These educational videos are meant to help you work to build better habits, healthier habits, and become more proactive to protect your mental and physical health. In the literature, it reveals that using digital tools such as apps and websites can engage people with trainings. This works to reach you with sensitivity to give access where there were barriers before. There will be 10 videos in this training, and this is the first one. And again, I want to stress no personal information will be gathered from viewing these videos or taking the surveys. It will all be anonymous, and it's voluntary to take those surveys. So there are 10 videos. You're watching video number 1, and it's an introduction for you to consider the problem of medical hesitancy in the paid pilot population, and if the training and tools I will offer you can be optimized with your feedback. I will also explain how this training will work in these further slides. Here's a visual of the 6 pillars of health and lifestyle medicine. Nutrition, the healthful eating, physical activity, managing your stress, form and maintain relationships, improve your sleep, and avoid risky substances. The second video is an introduction to lifestyle medicine and its 6 pillars of health, like I just showed you: nutrition, restorative sleep, exercise, relationships, stress management, and risk for substance abuse. We will also talk about SMART goals, that they stand for goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. How to use the download of this form to make a few goals after each video about lifestyle medicine. We'll talk also about the process of change and motivation, because it's all pretty complex. Videos 3 through 8 are the 6 pillars of health. So the third video is about nutrition. The fourth will be about exercise. The fifth will be about restorative sleep. The sixth will be about substance abuse risk reduction. The 7th video is about psychological well-being and stress management. And the 8th video is the last pillar of health, healthy interpersonal relationships. The 9th video, we'll talk about mental health vital signs, the PHQ-9 and the GAD-7. They are questionnaires that healthcare professionals use as a reliable tool to determine their patients' depression and anxiety levels. The PHQ-9, it screens for depression, and the GAD-7 screens for anxiety. I need to stress again that these will be downloadable forms that are for your own use, and I will never ask for any data related to this. It's just another tool for you to use. We'll talk about how to fill them out and what the results mean. If you are moderate to severe level in depression or anxiety, we will talk about your next steps, what they might look like with the use of existing resources. Talk about calling 988. Anyone can call 988 for any reason. 988 is a suicide and crisis lifeline. It works anywhere in the U.S. It routes you to where your area code is, then to the nearest places. This is the most anonymous way to get help I could find. If you call, you just verbally agree to consent, but if you text, you would have to fill out a form. Let's talk briefly about what a crisis response plan is in the next slide. This screenshot is from the liveonutah.org website. It gives you an idea of what is included in a crisis response plan that we will talk about in more depth in the 9th video. You can imagine how thinking through these areas could help you be prepared should you meet a crisis unexpectedly or you've come to the end of your coping skills. This being in place gives you a map of what to do next if you need more help or a reminder of your reasons for living. So it goes through what your coping skills are, who you could call if you're having a problem, what are your distractions that help get you into a better mood, where can you go to feel safe, and what can you do to make your environment safer. The 10th and final video is about peer support. The literature has strong evidence of the power of peer support. So for those of you who complete these trainings and make SMART goals from the 6 pillars of health that we will go through in videos 3 through 8, I challenge you to talk to your peers about how you apply the concepts you have learned. There is strength in being accountable to each other, supporting each other's goals, and giving each other ideas of new approaches or how to overcome obstacles. Peer support also lends an opportunity for those being helped to get education on credible and relevant resources and get empowered on how someone else found healthy coping, such as self-care. Lastly, I just want to point out to you that there are downloads after videos 2, 4, and 9 for your personal use. Again, I won't know any of the information that you fill out with those forms. After the last video, there is a link if you volunteer to take a survey that will give me feedback on these educational materials to help me to optimize them for future required trainings for pilots in training and new employees. There are 12 questions, 5 are open-ended, and it should take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete the survey. All right, we're to our key takeaways. There is medical hesitancy in the paid pilot population. There are proven ways to help this population protect their health with health promotion. 988 is a number that you can call if you are having suicidal thoughts or if you're in crisis, and it's really good for you to know because you might need to tell someone that you know and love if they're in that kind of a situation. Please think through what you would put in your crisis response plan. It's really vital to even think through those steps. It can really help you if you are suicidal or in crisis to know what it is that makes life worth living, and that you do have support to get you through a rough patch. All right, that's all I have for you in this video. For your next steps, please continue on to video number 2. Happy learning!